Oh, did y'all see the tier list today? I didn't actually like look at it. I just saw a little clip on Twitter of what changed. And yeah, it's a little crazy, man. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, bro. I love your tier list review content. I didn't see it. Well, we haven't gone over anything just yet. Pretty sure Vivian's tier 0. No, she's not, but people are arguing for her to be tier 0, which I'm like, no. No. And as crazy as I think that character is, no. We could do it. Okay, you know what? Let's knock it out real quick. We're here today to knock out the tier list that Prydwen has. You guys know the deal. One, I need content, so forgive me for doing this. And two, we got to talk about some things, because on Twitter, I saw a comment, which actually, you know what? Let me just show you guys the tweet real quick so we're all on the same page. Usual stuff. Let me go ahead and zoom in, because I know y'all can't see stuff on Twitter because you'd be blind. So I'm going to take you over to Twitter real quick. There's this tweet going around blowing up, and you guys know how Twitter is. If you say something on Twitter and it's pretty casual, which is, I guess, like the mass populace is going to agree with it, most of the time they don't know what it is that they're trying to, I don't want to say trying to say, but what they're implementing. Yeah, and I don't want to say that Hourly Nicole has no idea how to play the game or anything like that. They're just asking a question, and then if we go down through the comments, we can kind of see a little bit more, which is what made me even think about the tier list in the first place or look at Prydwen, because I completely missed out on the fact that they updated it, right? So Hourly Nicole says Vivian debuts at tier 0.5 while Miyabi still sits alone at tier 0. Do you guys think Miyabi is that strong, or is Prydwen just scared of putting characters at tier 0? The answer is the former. They are not afraid of putting characters at tier 0, which, okay, time out. The answer is both, actually. Yes, Prydwen is afraid of putting characters in tier 0 or bumping them down from tier 0 because of public opinion, right? But in this particular context, the answer is no. Miyabi is just that strong. If we talk about what this character allows anybody to have, any one account that has Miyabi versus an account that does not have Miyabi, they are automatically at an advantage. And it doesn't mean that like, oh, you're bricked. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm getting at is the fact that Miyabi, even if we look at just these characters in the image, right? Miyabi works with Lighter. Miyabi can work with Trigger. Miyabi can work with Sanbi. I know that's a crazy thing, but this is explaining why this character is what she is, or rather why she's valued the way she is. Miyabi works with Bernice, despite people being like, Bernice can't trigger Miyabi's passive. Miyabi is tier 0 for a reason. She works. Even if the passive does not work, and even if that passive is broken for Miyabi, Miyabi is so strong that she quite literally will destroy content even without her passive being active. Almost no other character in the game is able to do that, especially when it comes to solo DPSing on the team. Miyabi and Evelyn can work together. Miyabi and Vivian, despite me talking about this in an upcoming video about why I don't like this team absolutely shreds through things in the game. Miyabi Inagi, obviously her best partner, and Miyabi Qingyi. Everybody in this little bubble of the list right now, Miyabi works with. And this is not even including the support characters. If you add the support characters on the right side of this list, she works with everyone. Everyone from tier 0.5 up to tier 0, Miyabi works with across the board. Then if I start going down into tier 1, tier 2, tier 1.5, whatever, Miyabi more than likely 9 times out of 10 works with those characters too. Miyabi is a broken character in all sense of the word. Even Ben, I guess if you really wanted to play Ben, you can more than likely make it work, right? Ben is just a lesser version of Seth or Caesar in the context of the team. So yeah, you could actually probably make that work. She has all the capabilities and benefits or positives of an anomaly unit and an attack unit with none of the negatives. If you start adding vertical investment into this character, now it gets even more messed up, and she just starts to bring herself a much higher degree. The only way that she is going to be matched in terms of tier 0 on an even playing field is by them making another character that is very similar, if not a one-to-one copy of her, on the same caliber of versatility, strength, purpose, if you will, whatever. Like, it's crazy the amount of stuff that you can do. Evelyn could come close in terms of an attack type character, right? But she's still not on par with Miyabi. And that's why when I made my tier list about this and I was explaining stuff, I even said it. I said Yanagi and Evelyn are the only tier 0.5 DPS characters in my opinion, because they're the closest thing to Miyabi in terms of the capabilities and like I said, the benefits with no negatives. They have negatives or like a 1 flaw or half a flaw, whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're the only ones close enough or closer to Miyabi's potential or strength or value, whatever word you want to use. Everyone else is beneath that. Now we have Vivian. But before we get to Vivian, I also made a quote tweet thingy, right? And I said, I think a lot of players confuse who people or who belongs in tier 0 based on subjectivity rather than what the tier represents. Then I go on to explain in a very short sentence, anyone can turn their brain off and clear easy with Miyabi. This is inarguable. We all know this is the case. I'm sure you have a friend that plays Zenless with Miyabi who has no idea what they're doing. They're just having a good time mashing buttons and they're clearing everything just fine. Then I also say Vivian is not afforded the same. If you need a full sentence for that, she's not afforded the same opportunity that we just talked about with Miyabi up here. You have to be aware of what you're doing with Vivian. Otherwise, you will not get the same damage performance that you're able to see from a lot of the other characters. And just to clarify this, because this isn't a video format right now, I know how the YouTube comments can get. You playing Miyabi and Vivian and then saying, I played Vivian and she got my team up to 45K. She got my team up to 55K without thinking about anything at all. That is Miyabi. It's not a Vivian thing. That is a Miyabi thing, okay? Unless you were playing solo Vivian and then you're getting your 55K by literally just... Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? If you're not doing that, then it's not the same thing at all. I hate to break it to you. And as much as I love Vivian, they're just not on the same level. Then I say, to finish it off, just because they're your favorites doesn't make them tier 0. That's not a shot to anybody. That's not anything being like, you know, wrong or anything like that. It is what it is. And to make this better, because again, I know how y'all like to get, right? I know me too. Yes, this also applies to my Seth propaganda. Despite my reasons justifying a tier 0 placement based on Prydwen's criteria or my own, he is respectfully, in the context of what we're talking about right now with this tweet and the tier list, tier 0.5 to tier 1. Can I go below tier 1? I even had to throw myself in there, right? I be doing that too. It is what it is. But I wanted everybody to be aware of what's going on so that more people could understand, like, this is not normally something that happens outside of that. If I were to look up, like, now let's look at the tier list real quick so I can kind of explain what's going on, right? Top tier, ordered, high tier, mid tier, low, low, mid, low, right? All that kind of stuff. The reason I'm bringing this up just briefly, Rashid, Akuma, M. Bison, Ken, Cammy, Guile, all in the top tier based off event hubs and whoever decided to make this list. Yeah, high tier. We're gonna have Ed, JP, Zangief, and then Aki. M. Bison being in the top tier is not gonna be because their favorite player plays M. Bison, so they put them in top tier. M. Bison is gonna be in the top tier because in relation to the game, the mechanics, what M. Bison is able to do as a character, as a kit, versus everything else in the game, enemies, which in this case, since it's a fighting game, your enemies are your opponents, the other characters, and then versus the game mechanics themselves. Do they work more in his favor or less in his favor, so on and so forth. And yeah, Nix, I'm not even worried about if the tier list is accurate or not. Like that's beyond me. I just need this as a visual to explain why I'm always thinking about stuff the way that I am. Yo, Cobbleptops, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. This is essentially how this will work when it comes to the fighting game stuff. Rashid is number 1 based off the top tier being ordered. He's the number 1 strongest character in the game for any given reason that event hubs might have given as to why he's up there, right? But as I just explained it, it's because in short, he gonna body everybody on this list. Like every single thing on this list, he gonna body him. That's the easiest way to explain that in that regard. Yeah, this list is old. This list is old. I don't know how old that list is. I'm not even gonna hold you. I just needed it for a visual. So now if we go to Prydwen, which is kind of like the money maker for today, right? People are here for this. I didn't even have to scroll too much, bro. I didn't have to scroll too much. Justice has been served. Today, chat, justice has been served. We need to look in the far right. Look at who has a red arrow next to her name. And I love her. I love her. Easily one of my favorite characters story-wise from the game. She is finally not tier 0. We finally have some balance. Balance is coming. Thanos has done a finger snap, and we finally get a little bit more accuracy when it comes to the game. Now, the only thing that I'm not super keen on right now is Chingy still being in 0.5. Lighter is up there. Trigger is up there. Mind you, this is still without anyone's W engine. The only 3 characters up here that function exactly how they do without their W engine, like they're still cracked, Miyabi, Lighter, and Astra. Trigger with no W engine versus Trigger with her W engine are damn near completely different characters. Obviously, they still function the same, but the discrepancy, the performance discrepancy is significantly noticeable with or without her W engine. And at the same time, they don't need max, bro. We're gonna keep it a buck, bro. No one's running at max capacity when they don't have their W engine. Maybe Miyabi because she's that cracked. Maybe Astra, you know what I mean? But these characters are not running at max capacity without their signatures. I think that's fair to say for every character in the game. I do feel like that way. But my general gist of what I'm explaining here is that 1, 2, 3, the stunner category. Chingy either needs to be up here with them or they need to get bumped the fuck down. One of the two. One of the two, bro. Something needs to happen right here, and then justice will officially be served, and Batman can rest finally. With that out of the way. Wait. Criteria and roles have been updated. Okay, wait. Prydwen, you changed it. I have to give you the credit on that one. Now, do I agree with the rest of the tier list yet? No, I don't know yet, but I gotta give you that one. So if you don't know, or if you're new to what's going on, all agents are assumed to be utilized in their best full best three-man teams played without input mistakes. And we can stop right there. I'd have to go back and check what it was in the previous tier list reviews that I've done. But this was basically before, I'm going to shorthand it because I don't remember exactly what the wording was. I just know it wasn't this. Before, it was played without mistakes on like a perfect level. Like there were no mistakes at all. You had the utmost optimal rotations. You knew your combos. You were a top tier player. You knew everything about that team. You had the best equipment available to that character or to the team, and you were doing some outstanding performance. Now it has been changed to played without mistakes, using our standards for performance. Then in parentheses, refer to the about tier list skill ceiling sections for detailed info. So we do need to look at that in order to understand what has just been changed. Skill ceilings. As an action combat game, Zenless Zone Zero offers many combat options to players, some of which are not easily executed but boost certain agents' power budget substantially. Examples include agents who benefit heavily from perfect timings, such as tight combo windows, or a substantial increase in performance based on certain actions such as perfect dodges, perfect assists, precise anomaly applications, and so on, or agents who require additional techniques in order to reach higher ceilings. Quick swap playstyles, which we refer to that as switch check on the channel. Eventually you'll know both terms, it won't matter. Manual chain attacks, Haramasa, and then or Xuan, and then unique character mechanics, Miyabi, Vivian, so on and so forth, Yanagi, polarity disorder, right? Things like that. Such techniques won't be for everyone. However, a tier list must assess characters based on their maximum potential in their best teams, up to a reasonable standard. And this is where they're playing with words right now. Our goal is therefore not to assess agents based on speed run level performance, as Zenless Zone Zero is a game played overwhelmingly by very casual players trying to max out on in-game rewards. These kind of players making up for the majority of our audience. Okay, that part is important, their audience. Our tier list caters to this audience by focusing primarily on average ability to obtain full rewards in Shiyu defense. So basically anything less than 300 seconds to clear, and Deadly Assault, 20k plus scores on 2 stages. As a result, only the most powerful techniques are considered, such as essential swap cancels and favors combos that are easy in execution. Techniques that can be reasonably expected are efficient management of perfect assist, stunned windows starting from chain attacks, and perfect dodges. Agents will be assessed using the more simple automatic chain attack mode, so they're not doing manual chain attacks anymore, as efficient management of manual chain attacks require a much higher skill ceiling than in what is necessary to clear. If agents benefit heavily from techniques we do not consider for our base assessments, and using such techniques impacts their rate significantly relative to other agents, special tags illustrate this. Expert tag, quick swap tag, to an extent, so on and so forth. Based on what we just read, I can no longer, and I mean this in the utmost seriousness, and this is no shade to Prydwen. My boy Ant knows, fuck with him, love him. But from the way that I'm able to look at the game and then talking about like the optimal or like what a tier list would be, I can no longer take Prydwen's tier list seriously when it comes to Zenless Zone Zero, based off their updated criteria and the skill ceiling section for the game. Now, some things we can universally agree on: Miyabi, Astra tier 0, that's pretty easy, right? I feel like this allows too much, the wording here allows too much room for we will place whatever we want where we want because we feel this way. So even if the criteria, once again, Seth, even if the criteria stands for this character should be placed here because based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they meet all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we don't want to do it, so we're not going to do it. And instead, we're going to place them where we think they go. Not a shot to them by any means. Like I said, now with that information, I don't have to think hard about where things are placed at all, which probably means we're not even going to be doing tier list videos anymore, because I can't think about this game from a casual perspective without the intentions to improve at the game. Make a tier list stream win? I have no idea, to be fair. There's a lot of work that goes into that, because I'm never gonna knock them for doing that. The amount of, like, look at this, guys. The amount of work they do into the characters, you know, all this kind of stuff that they put into the character, writing everything on the website, and then the calculations. Let me see if, here we go. The calculations as well. They're doing work. I can never take that away from them. I can never take away the work that they put into the game. But coming in here and like psychoanalyzing what's going on, I could easily disagree with some things. Basic rotation, defensive assist follow-up. So you start with the defensive assist, you do the assist follow-up, defensive assist again. Why do you have, how are you getting this? This is what I'm talking about. How do you get this? You have 2 defensive assists back to back. You can't explain that. Like, even if I was a casual, simple player and I read this, maybe this is a mess up. I don't know. Maybe this is a mess up, but you can't do this. It's physically impossible for you to do a defensive assist and then the assist follow up, which is, you know, her crashing down in the air. And then you don't explain they need to switch. Prydwen, you guys have to put that in there. Like, if fuck what I'm talking about in terms of like the expert shit, whatever. If you're going to explain or teach somebody basic rotations in this game, you have to put that in there. Yeah. Also, I agree with Nix on that too. You can't say casual based narratives and then throw number calc. You can't throw numbers at niggas. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on that, right? That's why I said earlier, it's too much room. Okay, and I would have done it. Probably not really. I don't know. The reason that the criterias were updated and the about tier lists were updated is literally because myself and any other content creator who understands how to play the game has been talking about Prydwen's tier list. And for the most part, I feel like all of us have been respectful. There might be one creator that was pretty disrespectful about it. I don't remember who. Like, it doesn't fit in my head like that. It's me. Nix doesn't make content. Don't listen to him. I think there might have been one person that was disrespectful about it, right? Everyone else was pretty respectful in terms of like their critiquing over what's going on. And we were telling or explaining to Prydwen through our videos, like, hey, these things should change because of this reason. So boom, the reason that's happening now has been explained. We have the skill ceilings and they've updated based on their audience and their performance of what's going on, which is totally fine. But as Nix mentioned, once you start throwing in calculations and who's doing what, the best things for that, blah, 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 you are moving so far away from casual that at that point, you're like, it's fence sitting. They're in the middle. Right now, they're in the middle. They've been in the middle for a little bit of time. And instead of taking the route of maybe listening, even if it wasn't listening to me, right? Like, I'm not saying like you have to listen to me, because it's not just me that's been saying stuff like this. Even if it meant taking a little bit of extra work or do what they did with Wuthering. Dude, hold on, wait a minute. Didn't they? I'm pretty positive they did this. Where is it at, chat? Don't they credit like 3 people? Rivenous. Well, Rivenous doesn't do Wuthering stuff anymore, I don't think, but it's Saint, it's like 2 other people that were credited for helping out Prydwen with the tier list and like what's going on. I don't know where that information is though, but I know it's here somewhere. Stepperoo, I think it's Stepperoo as well. Saint, Stepperoo, and like one other person. But they're creators. My whole point is that, because I'm not bashing, I'm just saying with Wuthering they did it. They reached out to some creators and these creators helped them regulate the tier list and understand it a little better, right? So that they could fix up what was going on, and they've worked on it patch by patch over time, and then it's gotten better. Cool. Why can't you do the same thing for Zenless? Even if we go and look at it from a, hold on, here we go. The Vivian thing. Where is she at? Calculations, maybe? Woba doesn't make Zenless content anymore. We had Woba in the chat the other day. We're shooting shit, talking it up. Woba doesn't make content no more on Zenless. He's only focusing on Star Rail. And there's no other, to my knowledge, there's no other Zenless creators who are here. Okay, I Win to Lose and Rivenous. So I Win to Lose and Rivenous are the 2 creators being featured for what's going on, which is totally fine because these 2 both do calcs out of the ass. But because they do calcs out of the ass, it's no longer casual. Rivenous isn't even a casual player. I Win to Lose is y'all talking about me like as a fighting game player. Rivenous is not Rivenous. I Win to Lose is a pro Soul Calibur player. Like, he's cool, he chilling, he know the tech. He know the tech, bro. Like y'all think he be executing stuff just because he can't? No, he know how to play these games. He is not a casual player by any means, but they approach it in a casual manner, which is awesome, right? Even I've adapted a way to like try and approach things a little bit more casually and just to try and get that off, because it comes off a lot more approachable. Totally fine. I'm not even bashing on like what's going on here, right? You guys can see that I'm kind of ranting at this point, but I'm only ranting because I feel like instead of doing the thing they did for Wuthering, which was like, hey, we might not know enough about this to do whatever. Let's go ahead and look into how can we get a little bit more accurate on like what's going on, right? Boom. And then we start talking about here's why this character could be here, or this is the opportunity for this character to do this, so on and so forth. And even better, I could have sworn someone had it, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't really remember, to be fair, but like Evelyn, right? Let me see if she has it here with her 7 chain attack combo. Let's see. Basic attack, razor wire, This is probably casual. As I'm looking at it, this is a casual 3 chain rotation, which is totally fine. You could easily make an advanced rotation or like the high level player shit, right? Like you could do that. It doesn't take that much more work than what you would have already done, because in order for you to figure out the ceiling for like what this character's potential is, at some point you would have had to do it. You can't base everything. I mean, you can, because it's your tier list. I don't want to say that you can't do anything, but I feel like it's a little more impractical to base a tier list of like, it's a little impractical to say something like all agents are assumed to be utilized in their full best 3-man team, played without mistakes or input mistakes. That's an execution barrier right there. All casual players have input mistakes. There's not a single casual player that is a perfect execution. Like, they don't have perfect execution. It's impossible for them to do that. Played without input mistakes, using our standards for performance. These two things are counterintuitive. They can't exist. Obviously refer to the about tier list section, which we've already read that. There's no reason for me to go back and do that again. Their argument is fully flowchart versus adaptation. You said scroll to the bottom. Moon's still here. Moon doesn't make content for Zenless anymore. That's funny. Moon just wanted to put herself on the screen, chat. That's really all it was. They need to hit you up. No, don't hit me up. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't, and not even like, it's not that I don't want to be a part of it because like it'd be bad or anything like that. I think it'd be pretty cool. I don't think I'd want to be a part of it simply because it's more work on my plate that I'm either already going to do but not get paid for, or I just don't want to do it all together. Again, no shade or anything like that to anybody that does it. I'm just really lazy and I hate math. And so trying to piece things together for math, I do a lot of my stuff, a lot of the testing that I do in the game for Zenless, I do it based on the game. Then I try and check the math afterwards, and then I come back and figure out how can I optimize it? How can I make it better? How can I do that? Things of the sort. The Vivian and Bernice team, which we have a video for that right now. It's literally the pinned comment. Me doing that is completely based off like, how does this team function as a whole? And then how do I improve it beyond whatever is going on, all that kind of stuff. But I can't imagine studying the numbers, because I can study frame data. Frame data is different than me studying like the damage calculations of what's going on. Top tier players already know how to plan and recover in minimal time frames. Is that simple? Yeah, well, I mean, that's why they're top tier players, right? But I'm not approaching this as like everybody is a top tier player. Now, mind you, again, played without mistakes. So there's that. But to be fair, they did change it. I'm not gonna hold you. I love this. I love that change right there. Using our standards for performance. Casuals match to win and don't think, hence flowchart. I press. Mid-tier players try to get better, but when they break flowchart, they fail to recover and they lose time. Top tier players already know how to plan and recover in minimal time frames. It's that simple. Oh, okay. You know what? That's valid. 100%. I can agree with that. Absolutely. No combo is true because the stun duration is different for every enemy. The combo is true if you know that enemy. That part is, I'm going to make that akin to fighting games. I'm not going to hold you. Like, every combo that I do might not be the same on like, in Guilty Gear. In Street Fighter, I don't think this matters because I don't think there's a weight class, but in Guilty Gear, there's a weight class system, or at least there was a weight class system. And so heavier characters fall faster. Lighter characters get launched higher and stay in the air for a longer time. So a combo that you could do on Milia would not be the same combo that you could do on Potemkin, which means you needed to know Potemkin specific combos for your character, and you needed to know everyone else. So basically, lightweight characters, normal or average, and then heavy. It's backward. Okay, if it's backwards, then that's on me. If it's backwards, then it's on me, bro. Horse alert. Hey. You know what it is? I'm right in context or in concept, right? I'm just not accurate on what I'm saying in relation to the characters. Just flip them around. That's all it is. Just flip them around, bro. Sounds like Smash. Smash also has a weight system. Yes, exactly. So like that, but that again, that's a fighting game thing, right? Those games have that type of thing. And this is in relation to the true combo stuff that we just talked about. Ban the Smash player. No. Let them play their game, bro. And you know what? For all you know, Concept don't even play Smash. He might have just mentioned it, you know? He might have just mentioned it. Skullgirls also has a weight system. Exactly, bro. So you know what it is what it is. But ultimately, looking at this once again from a completely casual perspective, bar the mistake thing, you got to put Caesar back in tier 0. You got to. At this point, full send it. If Prydwen, if you're gonna be like super casual and the whole goal is for like your core audience, the casual audience, full send it. Just full send the free to play casual perspective where it's literally turn brain off and just mash. Any character, turn brain off and just mash, top tier. Throw them in tier 0. You're playing both. You're playing both sides. You're literally playing both sides. Lighter, Chingy, Trigger, tier 0 stunners. Why? Because they literally, one of them you press the fucking basic attack button, you're done. Get stunned. The other one, she doesn't even touch the field. Get stunned. GG's. Lighter, I buff up everybody on the team by 9 million%, and I go, and then they get stunned. GG's. Put them all in tier 0. Miyabi, we know why she's in tier 0. Anby, put her in tier 0. Why? Because you turn your brain off and you play the game, and she does damage, right? She don't need nobody else on the field, just her. You don't have to think about the team and the rotations. Literally just do it. Put her in tier 0. Astra, put her in tier 0. There's no reason for us not to. Caesar, literally every casual / free-to-player saving grace. Put her in fucking tier 0, bro. Like, oh, she's a shield bot. You're underestimating the powers of Caesar's shield. Caesar is the best character in the game because what would a player do? A player that does not have Caesar is not going to be as strong. Hey, bro, put her in tier 0. Lucy, put her in tier 0. Yeah, actually, leave Lucy in tier 0.5. Rena, take Rena all the way the fuck down from tier 1 to like tier 4, tier 3. And that's not even me hating on Rena, but if we're going full casual, Rena is one of the last characters, definitely the last character from the standard to be in tier anything beyond niche. Bump Ambi up to tier 1.5, something like that. Bump her up. Colada, bump this bitch down. Lycan, keep him up here. Polkra, bring that bitch up to tier 0.5. Zhu can stay in tier 1. Tier 1 Jane, yeah, for all intents and purposes, bump her up to tier 0.5. Ellen, yep, you leave her in tier 2. Soldier 11, bump Soldier 11 up to tier 1. You literally just mash. You pop skill, you mash. You pop chain attack, you mash. You pop ult, you mash. Haramasa, bring this motherfucker down to tier 4. Call it a done deal. Nekomata, bring this bitch up to tier 1.5. Billy, bring him up to tier 2. Is that it? I feel like Seth, drop that motherfucker down to tier 4, right? Like if we're going full on casual, the entire tier list changes up. The entire tier list changes up if we're doing that. And I might be, maybe that's on me, right? Like comments, let me know for sure. I am a little heated, not in an angry way. It's literally just the caffeine. The caffeine is like finally kicking in, right? I don't think that the game is played the same way from as Nyx even gave us like 1, 2, 3, right? The different levels. It's not played from the casual perspective to the mid-level to the mid-level to the top tier. That they don't play the same, which means the character placements are not the same. The value isn't the same. I would completely change this at this point, but if they hear you right now, they're gonna put Haru in tier 4. It's Tsukigami. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think they should. They should just full send. They should just full send, bro. Need Xuan to be the next charge blade of Zenless. I'll take it. 100%. I'll take it. They put Ellen in tier 2 because they know Dracula is coming. That would be pretty cool. I was talking about Rena. Oh, I got you. I got you. Yeah, bump Rena down, bro. Bump Rena down, dog. Grace is already down here in tier 3. Leave her there. Corn, bump Corn up a little bit. Maybe put Corn in tier 2. You know what I'm saying? It's too all over the place. From my own perspective. Obviously, there might be some things that I don't see behind closed doors or anything like that. It is what it is. I'd argue that people who put in the effort and build a character properly can even make characters like Billy and Corn achieve higher scores for them. 100%. Literally the Billy mains are clearing with like 35, 40K. Corn main, I think there was just a Corn that did like 47 or 52, something like that. Mind you, I'm pretty sure it was like M1 Astra with that 52 score, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know where the Corn thing is exactly. I just know it happened in the previous 3 weeks because it was a video that blew up. Blew up being like it got double-digit views, right? Like 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, things like that. Ben, we just saw Ben clear. Ben got like 27K DPS Ben or something like that. So that was a thing as well. Like there is definitely, if you understand how to play the game, it's up there 100%. But we should just full send at this point. Full send it. Fuck it. Make a fully free to play / casual tier list and just full send the fuck out of it. Why did Jane get bumped down? This happened a while ago because she doesn't have the tag. But Jane got bumped down because she just wasn't strong in comparison to all these other characters. She just wasn't a strong character by that by those means. Tier 4 is new. No, I think tier 4 has been here for a bit. It might have just been one of these tiers were mostly empty. It is what it is. Yeah, and then plus the meta. There's like no physical weak characters in the game right now. And if they are physical weak for whatever reason, they're like, hey, bro, I just take 50% reduced damage from anomalies. Like, all right, man, suck me off. That is going to be it for that video. All right. If you guys watched the entire thing, my little rant thingy, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to end it off by saying by no means am I trying to attack or do anything with Prydwen or anything like that. They know that. I know that. I want you guys, the chat in the community, to know that. I'm literally just looking at the tier list and going like, hey, I love that y'all changed the criteria. I really do. It's funny. It's more funny than it is important, but the change, I think, made it worse. I think instead of going in the direction of improving the placements and explaining why something would be this way, because it's like, hey, if you put in the work based off, you know, hey, this is what we said the criteria was, no mistakes, whatever, optimal rotations, this is where they belong. I think putting in the work to do that would have been better than rewording everything to make it sound a lot more open for interpretation. Even with like my whole thing with like, oh, you have animation cancels, you have this, you have that. Like, even if you weren't to take a lot of that into consideration, because the average player isn't doing that kind of stuff, which is totally fine, I still think giving them that information so that they're aware of it would make it better, right? Like, even if I'm not saying do this, please don't do this, but even if you put like the expert tag on Seth and you're like, hey, expert tag and like plus 9999, right? And then it goes up. Mind you, yeah, that's wrong too. Haramasa and Evelyn should not be the only characters with an expert tag. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things that you could nitpick about that aren't really nitpicks. They're actual, like, you should probably look into this for sure, because it's not 100% accurate, but it is what it is. Anyway, like the video, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I can't say my user outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. I'll you later. I swear I was about to say the same thing over. Like, I was gonna repeat exactly what I just said.